Hey Pisces, welcome to your monthly reading for March. Let's dive in and see what March has in store for you guys. Messages for Pisces for the month of March, please. All right, I have Venus, offer. I have romance, love, beauty, creative, arts, wealth, harmony, attraction, and an offer. All right, Pisces. So Venus is at play in your energy for the month of March. You might be attracting in a new soulmate or something that is just, heart-centered and will bring a lot of joy and harmony to you. This could be a creative pursuit. This could be a relationship, a friendship, a new job, a new career. Let's take a look further and see what this is, Pisces. Messages for Pisces for March. All right, I have death. Okay, so this might have been, on the tail end of some kind of ending here. Whether this was an ending to an actual, thing like a relationship or a job, or situation. This can also just be a very transformative energy where you've allowed enough to fall away from the old so that you can make room for the new. When Venus is at play, it's really in that heart center. And in order to kind of open up that heart center for new things to align for us, we really need to kind of clear out the old. So this could be just energies from old relationships, old disappointments, things that you've kind of been holding on to and maybe just didn't even realize you were holding on to still. And so there clearly is some kind of ending here. This could have been even truly, the recent ending of something significant in your life with this death card. Here I have shadow and light. Okay, so shadow and light is coming out here when this is just saying that, we've had a lot of energies from the past that we've kind of suppressed down. This can be good experiences, bad experiences, how we handle those experiences. This can be old conditioning, old patterns on how we've handled these situations. When we're playing, between that shadow and light aspect, it's really bringing to surface those old energies that we really just kind of thought we were past. We really thought we had already healed from, but maybe perhaps not. Maybe we were, needing to move forward in life and we just kind of like, yeah, I'm good, don't worry, all that's healed. But really it wasn't. So, when this is at play, it's just saying that you might have some things coming to light that have been lurking in the shadows of your heart or your mind or your energy, your emotions that maybe you just didn't realize were really there. And so this is saying this is putting an end to those energies, bringing them to the surface for you to purge so that you can attract in, new love, new harmony, new balance, new creativity in your life. Okay, so it's just making space. I have the card of time to use, not to lose. So you may have really come into an energy of just saying, you know what, all that I've been doing, whatever it is that needed to leave, let it leave. Because I've got better things to do. I've got bigger fish to fry, so I'm just going to not waste my time and energy because life is too short to be wallowing in this, to be wasting my time on people and situations and jobs that are not conducive to my well-being or my goals. And, it's just time to walk away and leave those things behind. So you may have made some bold moves, Pisces, where, either you were leaving situations or situations were leaving you, which either way, it's a good thing. It may not feel like it at the time, but trust me, it is. It makes that way for really good things to come in and it helps you to kind of open up and so that you don't bring those old energies into those new relationships and situations. You're going to really be clear of those things so that you don't taint something new that you're hoping to work out, in the long run. Okay. Let's take a look at your recent past, Pisces, for the month of March and see, what's playing out here exactly. Get some more details. All right. I have the Page of Cups coming out in the recent past. And to me, this is telling me that, you might have been in a state of needing to, either seek forgiveness, ask for forgiveness. This can be of yourself, of a situation, just being really kind to yourself and really being, honoring those feelings that are coming into play. It's really entering into that heart space and just saying, you know what, these situations happened. It's okay. And, a lot of times when we need to move on from something, part of that process is, it's making amends. And whether you've made amends physically with that person, in a one-on-one kind of, communication, or whether you did it in your own, time and energy where you just kind of forgave and let go, doesn't mean that we have to forget what things have played out in our life or what people have done. But, it is just important to kind of forgive and let go so that you can move on and attract in, new, better things. Okay. Let's look at the present energy for Pisces for March. Present for March, please, for Pisces. All right, I've got the Three of Wands. So it looks like you really did do a lot of this clearing out and a lot of that forgiving and a lot of that, kind of like, life's too short. I need to move on. It looks like you're in an energy where you've already chosen a path to go down. It's clearly a new one. Now, whether this was a path that you chose willingly or a path that kind of was put on you where you needed to choose to go down the old way and do things the way you've always done them or go in a whole new direction. Either way, you made the decision to go in a whole new direction. And now you're in the energy of the Three of Wands, which is basically saying, hey, I'm just waiting for these things to come now. I already put out, my wish to the universe and I've done the work and now I'm open to receive. So this is a really good energy to be in. It's an energy of expectation. Okay, let's look at the near future, Pisces, and see what's playing out for you. All right, again, the Two of Wands. So you kind of already moved past this energy, but maybe you're questioning it again. Maybe this is going to give you an opportunity to kind of cycle back to some of the old energy. Look back at that old path and just continue to clear it out so that you can look onto the future. This may be coming to, an acceptance of the path that you've had to go down. Like I said before, in the energy of the Three of Wands, you're in this expectation energy where you've already chosen a path to go down, or this path may have chosen you. And so you might be coming back round to circle around to this Two of Wands energy where you're like at this crossroads, because you may just need to take time to really get clear on, this new path and in a state of acceptance of it is what it really feels like to me. Okay. So you might have had a little bit of a difficulty in accepting some of these endings that have come into your life that maybe just you weren't ideally wanting them to end and we're hoping that they would continue on. But when we go down the path that we've always gone down before, we get what we've always gotten. Okay. So this is an energy that's calling you to do something completely new. So over in the overall energy here, I have the Justice card, and this is saying that, things were just a little bit out of balance. Things were just, maybe in your mind playing out, maybe just weren't really fair to you. Maybe you were overgiving or something was overgiving to you. Things somehow, some way in these situations that have come to an end in your life and forced you down a new path just were not very, balanced in a positive way. And maybe you were feeling they were really unjust and unfair. Maybe you're feeling that the ending itself was unfair and unjust, and you just weren't too happy about that, especially with you needing to come circle back around to the Two of Wands and go back to that pivot point that led you down that path. If we're forced into situations that lead us in a new direction, it's also important for us to process that situation that played out, especially if it made us feel a type of way about it, and so that we can really move on from it, so that we can get clear that, this is the right path. It may not be, what I ideally had wanted, but I can see now that going down in a new direction is going to be what's best for me and will really make me feel a sense of, balance and fairness in heart and mind. Okay, let's get some advice for you, Pisces, for the month of March and see what advice you have in this situation. All right. I have the Fool coming out. So again, this is, advising you to say, hey, you know what? Embrace the new path. You might need to come around and visit and say, this path really is going to work out for my benefit. And even if you don't truly believe it yet, if you can think in a positive way and say in a positive way that this is going to be a really positive new direction, then it will be. Whatever path you're on is what you make it to be. So this advice that you're getting here for the month of March is saying, you know what? Take those leaps of faith. Try something new. Go down that new path, whether this was something you wanted or not. See it for a beneficial thing that it is, not necessarily a burden. Okay. See the blessing and the opportunity. Okay. Let's take a look at what's hidden in case there's something that you're not seeing in this situation that needs to come to light. What's hidden? Pisces for March. What's hidden? I have the King of Swords. Okay, so the King of Swords is really, clear about where he's going. He is like a no-nonsense king, but he can also get caught up in his mind a little bit. He can be playing a little bit of mind games with himself. I have the death card here at the bottom here. So again, this is telling me that there might have been a situation that you kind of were almost forced into unwillingly, a path that you were, led down, an ending that came about that you just weren't exactly, kosher with. And so this is telling me that what's hidden here is that you need to gain some clarity on the situation, become very clear with the situation and why it ended, because there's always a reason for it. And it's always something that is for our highest good. So, taking time to really reflect back on that path that you had gone down before and look at maybe why it didn't play out and be really honest with yourself. Be honest with the red flags that you saw. Be honest with the red flags that you ignored and kept going anyway, and be really clear-minded. So that way you can just, like I said, find joy in the path that you're now on so that you can look positively toward the future and what it has to offer. Let's take a look at what you don't see coming for the month of March, Pisces. What does Pisces not see coming for the month of March? What does Pisces not see coming? Month of March? All right. I have the Five of Pentacles coming out. And this is just saying that here in the month of March, what you don't see coming is that you're going to really be able to pull yourself out of this energy of disappointment, okay? So it's natural to be in a state of a little bit of emotional upheaval, up in the mind, a little bit upset about how things have been have been playing out for you. This can leave a lot of self-doubt, self-esteem issues, lack of self-confidence, just really feeling down in the dumps and are really left behind. You may have felt really abandoned by someone or a situation that maybe you put a lot of time and energy into that you thought really was going to be something that would be in your life for a long time, and it just didn't go the way that you had hoped it had gone. So, this is saying that here in the near future in March that you're really going to get to a place where, you're going to pull yourself out of that place where you're feeling like down and out about the situation. And you're going to get really clear and excited for a new direction. So just make sure that you're not playing into those feelings. They can really sometimes get us feeling a little bit trapped, a little bit feeling underwater a little bit. And so just don't really play into those energies and get clear, because what you're being guided to do here is understand the situation for what it was, why it came to an end, and why that's a good thing. And then be willing to open yourself up to new opportunities. Get excited for what's to come. Instead of looking back, you're not really going that way. So how about you look to the future and start to get excited about that and open yourself up to new things, open yourself up to new friendships, new possibilities, and get excited about those things for the future. So Pisces, this is what I have for you for the month of March. I hope it was helpful for you. And until I see you the next time, take care.